Hello, welcome to Injury Recovery Mindset. I'm Dr. Craig Seifert. I'm a sports psychologist and certified mental performance consultant with UR Medicine Fitness Science. Our job today is to help you to understand a little bit more about specific challenges that arise getting back to your sport after injury. In this video, we'll explain how we can use sports psychology to help you overcome these challenges and be yourself back on that field. So as we think about your recovery, it's good to start off with what the research tells us about the psychology of injury recovery. Early on in the process, athletes tend to have difficulties with mood, being disconnected from teammates, not being able to participate in your sport. That immediately has an impact on your mood and your sense of connection. But what we find is that as you move through your rehabilitation, your mood starts to improve. But sometimes, as we get you closer to clearance and return to play, anxiety increases as well. The stress of returning, the doubts of, is my body ready for this? And the thoughts of, will I get hurt again? How will my body respond? And am I going to be the same? But it's important to remember that this is a normal part of the recovery process. And the good news is, if we know that this part of the process is coming, we can help you build the skills you need to manage it. And that's my role through this program over the next few weeks, showing you how your mindset is key in your ability to get back to where you need to be as an elite performer. Another piece in terms of understanding how we respond to sport injury is that yes, our actions are very important, but it's just a piece of the pie. We also need to take care of what's going on with ourselves emotionally. What's our emotional response? How are we feeling about our experience? And how are we managing how we think about our return to the field of play? So it's important to take a step back and help ourselves to really look at how stress impacts us in terms of our brain and our body. The stress of returning to performance has large and wide-ranging impacts on us. So when we think about our brain, it's a really complex organ that we're dealing with. And deep inside of our brain, we have a part that's called the amygdala. And the amygdala is our body's alarm system. This is a really primitive part of our brain. You may have heard of fight or flight. Now we understand this as fight, flight, freeze. This response was all about giving us the energy to be able to fight back, run away, or hide when faced with danger. These systems that were very helpful for us in a lot of ways work against us when it comes to our performance. So as we're getting back to competition, this primitive part of our brain is still out there, looking for and detecting threats in our environment. With our alarm bell responses, we can experience intense emotions. This includes our fear response, bringing feelings of worry, anxiety, and doubt. And when it comes to getting back to performance, we can't lose track of our frustration and anger. We can't let those emotions get the best of us. And finally, we can't let feeling anxious or overwhelmed get in the way of us loving our sport and performing our best in our sport. We need to understand how all the different responses that we go through impact the stress on our body. Extreme emotions, increases in breathing and heart rate, negative and racing thoughts, muscle tension, muscle tightness, and feeling agitated or restless. The other part of the amygdala and its alarm bell response that's really important is that it has a strong impact on our brain. It impacts our prefrontal cortex, which includes our planning, decision-making, and judgment. This is the voice in our head that says, it's going to be okay, and I am ready. That complex thinking gets overwhelmed by the intensity of these emotions. The alarm bell response can also affect our motor cortex. So physically, our balance, coordination, and muscle memory are impacted so that we can feel off and unable to manage the physical demands of our sport. And it even impacts our speech centers of our brain. So when this happens, we may be finding ourselves having difficulty communicating, less engaged with teammates or coaches, or the other supports that we have in our life that help us to be successful. So we need to take a different approach to managing this. And a lot of what we're going to talk about over the next several sessions is the idea of being body first. What I mean by that is, if we can calm and relax our body, finding ways to help settle down our heart rate, loosen and relax our muscles, and engage our breathing in a way that calms us down, then that's going to help us to feel ready, confident, and focused in the way that will help our performance. So right now, I want you to take out that alarm bell awareness worksheet that we have as part of your workbook. First, I want you to think about, what are the signs that indicate your alarm bell is ringing? What are the signals that you notice? Is it that you're more emotional? Is it that you feel it physically? Are you tight or tense? Is it that your heart rate increases or even your heart starts pounding? Do you start feeling hot or sweaty? The more we can notice these signals before they become a 10 out of 10, and instead when they're at a 3 or a 4 out of 10, the better we are going to be able to manage it. For the second part, I want you to think about what are the actions you can do or already do to respond to stress in a body-first approach. What are the things that help you to physically calm down? What settles down your heart rate? What settles down your breathing? What helps you to calm down so that you're not overwhelmed by negativity, by anxiety, or by your emotions? The last thing I want to talk about that really is part of your comeback is our overall philosophy in terms of a mindset for injury recovery. And when I think about this, I think a lot about the Japanese art of kintsugi. Kintsugi is an art form focused on taking broken pieces of pottery and remaking them and reshaping them, reforming them into something new, something that is stronger, more beautiful, and more valuable. When we break down the actual term kintsugi, it is a combination of the Japanese words golden and repair. Right now, we want you to think about your golden repair. What is that going to look like for you in terms of strength and conditioning? What will it mean to create an experience in terms of mindset and nutrition, where you come out of this journey wiser, stronger, and more valuable than you were? Again, if you have any questions or comments, feel free to reach out. From here until our next time, I want you focusing on the signs and signals of your alarm bell response. Work on building your awareness, because once you are more aware of those signals, then you can focus on strategies to be body first and calm your system down in a way that's going to help you to be your best through your recovery and return.